Let me ask you guys something. What do Beerus, Baby, and Majin21 all have in common? All three of them have a move that takes the opponent from the very top of the screen to the very bottom. And moves like this have an interesting property that I've talked about before on this channel. They give you your double jump back. You'll see I can do a combo here where I use my double jump, and then I use my double jump again with Baby. Same thing with Baby. I can do a whole combo where I use both jumps and then use both jumps again with the next character. Now look, I'm like a fighters nerd, but I'm not like a coding nerd. So I couldn't tell you specifically why this happens. But what I would guess is, when you do a move like this and tag out, you are considered grounded when you're tagging out. And because you're grounded, you get your resources back of another double jump. And truthfully, I think if you didn't have to super dash in to tag into another character, you would probably get your super dash back too, because you just get your resources back. It's like you're re-jumping from one character to another character. But it's possible that I am entirely wrong and stupid and ugly. So why is this important? Well, besides just knowing every possible bit of information you can about how the game works, if you're like me, you play Gotenks, which wouldn't be too surprising considering you're on this channel. But if you do, it's kind of super important to be able to jump back at the end of a lot of your combos in order to set up Gotenks. But with a lot of characters, you just have to settle for minimal damage. Like, this would be the best that you could get. But if a character gets their double jump back, you can do just that much more damage consistently off of every single hit. Not only that, but in situations where you already have used your double jump, you can still get Gotenks, where another character would make it impossible because you've already used that resource. But since you get it back, you can just get Gotenks off of so many more hits. But that's not to say it's only useful to Gotenks. The same concept applies to any other character. If I want to do a long combo, and I also want to tag in another character, for whatever reason, I'm not judging you why you want to tag in a character, this is just a useful way for heightening my damage to every character. This applies to every character because they will get another jump. And unless I'm wrong, every character in the game can use another jump in their combo to get more damage. Or maybe you're playing a character that can really squeeze out a lot of extra damage with just one extra double jump. And not only that, but obviously, having a second jump can help Gotenks get his re-jumps in a lot of situations where he wouldn't be able to normally. Even though, now that he got buffed, he would have been able to re-jump there anyway. But you know what I mean. And Gotenks isn't the only character who benefits from a second jump in the combo. There are some characters where the jump isn't as important, but the fact that you get your air dash back is. And you know what's funny? Super Broly can do this too. Even though this move you wouldn't think of as like a dive kick thing, you'd probably think of it as like a big projectile / impossible to contend stupid fucking. But yeah, this move also gives you your double jump back. So funny enough, what that means is there are certain routes in the game where you get your double jump back here, and then you get your double jump back again later. Now, you're probably wondering, who are all the characters that can do this in the game? Well, I know a lot of them from experimenting around and trying to find good partners with Gotenks. I think the most obvious ones you would assume to have this are Majin21, Super Baby 2, and Beerus. Likewise, I think a lot of people might assume 16 can do this because his thing is like he brings you back to the ground, and he can. Same thing with S. Broly. His move brings you back to the ground, so he can give people their double jump back. Kid Buu also has a move that brings him back to the ground. He can do this, but he obviously can't do it with his light or his medium, because the opponent drops out of the combo when they hit the ground. So he has to use half a bar in order to get this. I definitely don't think this is as good with him, but it is there. So if for some reason you need to use it, there you go. And lastly, there are some characters who you might not expect to. Fat Boot can do this with his light, whatever this is called. And if you're outside of the corner, he can do it with his EX. I don't know if there's a way to land aerial medium raw, but if there is, please tell me. But Base Vegeta can also do this with his EX. Or you could just do something like this and then do it with medium. And yes, Perfect Cell can also do this, obviously. It's really weird to me that he can, but he can. You know, I would understand though that he is able to do it off his EX because he goes back to the ground, but he can just do it off of all of them. I don't know, maybe they had to intentionally give it to these moves and it's not just a byproduct of them going back to the ground, but I would assume it's just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? To the ground. So I don't know, fan theory time. Maybe Cell counts as grounded when he does this move, so that's why you can do that. But you know, funny enough, Cell actually has another move that gives you your jump back, and that's his medium rolling crush. Because you're counted as grounded during this move, you get a second jump. As far as I know, Cell is the only character in the game that has 2 moves that do this. I might be wrong, but those are all the characters that I found that can do this. But like, I'm sure there's more. The only requirements for your character being able to do this is they have to have a move that both takes the opponent to the ground and bounces them up afterwards. Otherwise, if it just like takes them to the ground, of course you can't get a combo afterwards. So a character like Cooler, he has a move that takes the opponent to the very ground, but you can't get a combo afterwards. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure he would be able to do the same thing. Wow, everything you said is boring, I don't care. Well then, I leave you guys with this. Round start 0 bar TOD that utilizes you getting your double jump back. Perfect. But Base Vegeta can also do this with his